Oh, Ruby, the oh so complicated relationship I have with this franchise, with this show and series, so near and dear to many, and so painfully complicated in the emotions of for many of us who are who are maybe unfortunately still members of this fan base, depending on your outlook and what you think of the show. Oh boy, never have I been in a more fraught situation deciding to react to something than I am right now. To preface this entire video, which I don't know if I'll go further than what I'm going to do here today, but welcome. I should let you know, I'm one of the RWBY OGs from way back when that series first began to be revealed on YouTube by good old Rooster Teeth back in the heyday of internet content creation via those who made machinimas and other such things. And oh boy, has it been a very, very interesting decade plus some change for me and many others who I'm sure are going to be drawn to this video, curious to why the Blue Dragon Lad is talking about the franchise from a company that is now unfortunately quite dead, with a future that is heretofore unknown after the IP's acquisition by Viz Media. Oh boy. Look, I'm just gonna be totally honest. I have very, very complicated feelings about RWBY as a franchise, as a show, about the direction it went in, about the attitudes of the people who made the series, that now, frankly, don't actually matter that much considering Rooster Teeth went under, and we don't quite know what's coming next for RWBY in the wake of the aforementioned acquisition by Viz Media, and the, let's be honest, effective cancellation of the series as we knew it up until only a couple of years back. It's unfortunate. It's a very weird and dicey situation to be in, but it is what it is. So, rather than wallow in the complicated emotions of the series as it died, quote unquote, let's go back to the first days. I want to talk about the very things that started this entire series, the color trailers. The things that got us introduced to these characters, to the world, and the ideas that were started up way back when by Monty, Miles, and Gary. Because, oh boy, they're still some of the best goddamn web videos on the internet, and I love them to death, even if the later seasons of the show give me very troubled feelings. So, let's get started on a journey back through Remnant, why don't we? And talk about the good things. Because I would be lying if I said if it wasn't for RWBY, I probably wouldn't even be a writer or a content creator at all. So I have a lot of respect for the series and a lot of love for it, so I would like to talk about it. At least talk about what got me into RWBY. So, that said, let's get to the reaction. I'm trying to put myself back into where I was when the Red trailer first dropped on YouTube, way back when, now 11 years ago. I'm trying to put myself back where I was without dating myself too hard, and just the feelings of finding out about this that came from the people who made Red vs. Blue. It did all that fun stuff I liked because I was way into Halo machinimas at the time, and then the first 30 seconds is this. A moody title crawl, declaring it by Monty Ohm, transitioning off this image of a full moon and a girl in a red cape, staring at a grave. I, like many others, didn't know what to expect, and what came next definitely did not fit into where I thought this would go, knowing Rooster Teeth's prior work. For any who may have somehow stumbled across this video unaware of what RWBY is, You'll know when I say welcome to RWBY. Oh, that hyperlink is... Oh, God, that is actually painful now. That hyperlink for merch is actually kind of painful now. It's also a gun. It's a transition that I just love. And there's something funny about the way this starts, where before anything about the Grimm was fully set in stone, when everything was still in production, and we just had this. A girl in a hood versus a bunch of shadowy wolves, who then pulls out this image. This image is iconic to RWBY for a reason. It stays burned into my memory to this day. And this, just pulling out that whatever the hell this was, before we even knew what to expect. Hello, it's a gun. But also, I'll talk about it more as it goes on, because this is going to be a bit different, because I don't feel a need to pause every 30 seconds. Plus, this is like a 3-minute video. And oh, hey, look at that. I've already talked about it for 5 minutes. Just the animation that makes me miss Monty so much. He was gone far too soon, and it was so sad that it was just such a freak accident. I do remember when it happened, when the news came, and God, I just wish I was a better writer at the time, because I was... I'll be totally honest, I was and have gotten re-involved in the RWBY fanfiction scene. I was there at the start, and God, I remember when it happened, what I tried to do myself as a fan, and honestly, that old thing may be cringe as hell now, but I wouldn't be where I am without it, even if I absolutely would not read it or tell anyone to, and it's been scrubbed from the internet. Anyway, let's enjoy some good-ass fight animation. This too, this image of RWBY with Crescent Rose pulled back, the like proto Beowulf just severed in front of the moon. A wonderful thing about this early animation from RWBY, at least when Monty was at the helm of it for the fight scenes, is, yeah, the animation style is a bit rough. You can tell that they're on a very slim, this is a passion project. What the hell is a budget? We don't have a budget. We're working off a spit and boot shine. And still, it's amazing. I have seen multiple breakdowns of just the animation in this trailer alone, and it is impeccable to see it talked about and what went into it that makes it so good. It's one of those things that's almost hard to talk about if you don't know the turns, because it's just all so well done. And it's a pain that certain later volumes could not keep to the energy and way the combat feels. It's not about speed in these animations. Characters are fast, trust me, but there's a flow, a momentum, a weight, and oh God, every time I think about RWBY, my feelings just get all mixed up, man. It's so complicated. We need to keep going, man. We need to watch it, because I'm stopping at the good parts. just... God, just the entire thing. I can't speak when I watch it because I just want to be absorbed in it. In the motions of the fight, the way her weapon moves, the way RWBY herself moves. Like, this, just a tiny girl using the recoil of her massive scythe gun to fly around a battlefield is so much fun to watch. It is astonishing what elements of RWBY's fight scenes we lost over time. And I feel like if I linger on it too much, I'm just going to start talking about the ways the show fell off, in my opinion, and I'm going to hurt myself and not focus on the trailers. Because these are so good. It's so simple. We have no dialogue. This is 3.5 minutes long. It's just dead silence, except for combat of things being cut in half and exploded and all that other stuff. And it's fantastic. If anything, this is more of a showcase of how RWBY's weapon works than RWBY herself, because we don't know anything about her at this point. We just know she's a girl who is at a grave in some snow-covered forest and, you know, has a cool-ass scythe gun as a weapon. But it's the entire thing, just the way she fights with it, you know? Like, yeah, there's a reason why you can see what's most replayed. Hey, this entire sequence, why is this one of the most replayed parts? For a good reason. These two peaks are there for a reason. They're the height of the fights, just the sequence of the scythe spinning and slashing through everything and all that shit. And then this. The music itself, I love this. Oh, hold on. Just all of that. Let me dial it back so we don't have the freaking old YouTube elements obscuring everything, even though I wish it didn't, but they had to put that in. And it got this in. YouTube elements, I cast thee out. Freaking, can I get rid of you? No, I cannot. God dang it. Okay. Just that, though. The way the music explodes into the frenzy as RWBY just turns into a goddamn Beyblade. God, that entire trailer. Welcome to fucking RWBY, guys. It's so good. Oh, that's just where it starts. This is such a good proof of concept of what they were trying to work with and get introduced. The way the mechanisms of the weapon, the way it moves. Hell, I just realized how rarely we actually see Crescent Rose's blade get manipulated. Like on this frame right here, before she shoots that Beowulf. Let's dial it back a few frames just to look. Like the blade being folded forward like this. How rarely did we actually see that in the show? I don't remember it happening that much outside of the first few volumes, actually. Because, yeah, the main blade is on a hinge, and I don't think we actually saw it used that much. Because, God, it had a glaive mode! I forgot that Crescent Rose has a glaive mode, because the show uses... God, the mixed feelings are coming back. I need to stop. I need to stop before I go on a tirade about the show. I need to stop before I go on a tirade about where it went in later volumes. I need to stop. Why am I like this? Okay. Anyway, next trailer. Let's get the My Girl Wise. Everyone is entitled to their own sorrow, for the heart has no metrics or form of measure, and all of it irreplaceable. Wait. No, the red trailer did not start with one of those. Huh. It's hard to. I think it was actually hard to notice before, but the fact they have this little like announcement of like, because it is a concert hall, you can notice that Weiss's name was actually revealed pretty much as soon as we met her, compared to like Blake and Yane. Ruby's obviously came a little bit later. I think they posted on Twitter. I don't know. I remember during the early production. I mean, I didn't use Twitter at the time. Obviously, I was like not old. Not gonna say how old I was, but let's just say I was not in an age range where I used social media much. I mean, I don't use social media much now, to be honest. I freaking deactivated my Twitter account like a few weeks ago, actually, because I just barely used it and I didn't care. But I know they posted a lot on Twitter, so they might have mentioned Ruby's name there. I don't know, but Weiss getting her name mentioned so soon in a freaking concert announcement. Anyway, let's watch my girl work. Best girl. I don't accept arguments. Weiss is best girl. Music again. Mirror Mirror is such. The music is always so good. Jeff Williams does such a fantastic job with composition of all kinds. It's actually really amazing how robust his musical talents are in terms of what he can get done. Just in terms of like compositions of something more orchestral or rocking out, it's so good. And Mirror Mirror is this goddamn operatic, wonderful piece. Also, I'll say it once it comes up and we start hearing Casey's voice at the time. I'll drop that bit of trivia because holy shit. Honestly, that's such a cool transition, using the mirror image flip to transition from the opera scene, from like the dance hall scene, to this heretofore, we didn't know what was going on here. We just know that it transitioned to a fight scene. Because these are actual trailers that don't spoil everything for you and actually get you interested in what's coming next and what could happen, and not just tell you the entire story out the gate within like a minute and a half or whatever. Ugh. Okay, I need to pause and talk about this real quick for a second. I love the way Weiss fights in this trailer. Rapiers are always a fun weapon to give a character because of their more thin, fragile nature and the more aimed towards the thrust. But the way she fights in this mix of like a ballerina mixed with like the fencing is such a cool thing. And I'm going to lose my shit because the more I think about it, the more I get mad that as the show went on, she just became a mage and didn't use her sword as much as often as she used to. God. I don't dislike the skill set Weiss was given, because I am personally a fan of Spellblades. I am a massive fan of characters who are some form of Spellblade in fiction. I have always loved the mix of sword and sorcery in a character, and unfortunately, as the show went on, Weiss leaned closer towards the sorcery, further from the sword, and it was a really unfortunate way that her fighting style got dumbed down, and it just makes me kind of sad. There's a lot of stuff I could go on, like, if anyone wants, like, I could talk probably for half an hour alone about my critiques of the show and where it went, but then again, people who have bigger followings and have better credentials than I have already done that, so I don't exactly need to express that opinion, let's be real. My opinions and those of other people who are frustrated that the show we love couldn't be better or had its trappings and shortcomings have expressed very similar opinions to me, and I don't need to expand on them that much, let's be totally honest. Oh, but just the action alone, I love how quick it is, yet there's still a weight to it. Like, Weiss doesn't feel as heavy as RWBY in these scenes. But just the speed, like, even just that first... I want to place this again, because I love this part. How that initial thrust turns from that into that leaping pirouette. Let's see if we can't frame by frame that. Yeah. So as it goes from that... Look at how smooth the cut is, too, from that shape. And then it goes to that into the spin. And then even in the animation, the way her skirt actually flares out and grows a bit to accent the motion alone. This is something that Monty was so good at doing. Of accenting that motion by actually using some elements of, like, squash and stretch in his models. Give that extra emphasis to emotion. So in this case, Weiss's twirl in the air before she lands, and she basically does a mid-air pirouette to reposition. It's just so good, and I love watching these trailers. Oh, they have millions of views for a damn good reason. Ah, that was also something that I picked up from Monty in terms of like how you write a fight, how I write a fight scene. Fights are more interesting when both characters get hit. Even if it's a fight where one side is clearly going to win, the fight becomes more interesting if both sides take hits at some point in the fight. A one-sided curb stomp isn't always the most fun thing. Like, maybe you need to have the characters get through some mooks so they just kind of mow them down like it's no big deal. Okay, cool, fine. But if it's a big fight, if you're up against, like, an enemy lieutenant, or in this case, a giant suit of goddamn armor, let it get a few hits in and sell the impact of it. Like, I want to focus on the trailers, because I did just write a whole fight scene myself, and, like, I follow the same rule. I just had a character get, I don't know, slammed into the dirt and then dragged across the floor to get pitched into an arena wall. So, you know, that was kind of part of the rules I learned there. God, if I had animation skills, I'd love to animate that, but I don't. Anyway. We need to keep going. We're already 22 minutes in here. I'll bring it up here. Casey Lee Williams was 14 when she recorded the vocals for this song. She was 14 when she did that wail. That is incredible, and I am stunned when I think about that 11 years on, considering my own age range. I am just, the fuck? That was a person in my age group. It's like, okay. That alone is just, oh god, the music sells us so much. I love the way it picks up here after that. Oh, also this scene too. Oh god, I forgot that you can actually tell it's a little bit off model. Weiss isn't actually supposed to have her scar in this scene, but you can actually see it right here with the blood going down her face. Oops. I don't hold it against them. I don't hold it against them, though. I cannot hold it against them. I forgot that Meternaster would glow with runes like that at the... I don't think it ever did that in the show. I think that was just an effect they used in the trailer here. Did it ever do that in the show? I mean, if we go and rewatch it in some way, because I don't think the full show is available on YouTube anymore, and obviously the The Rooster Teeth. God, I can't English. Why did I list that so hard? The Rooster Teeth website doesn't exactly exist anymore. I mean, there's methods, there's ways. Some of them potentially not so legal, but I won't talk about that right now. I just had to think about it for a moment because, like, wait a second, that detail on Meter Master. I want to dial back to that frame. Okay, well, we'll let this finish and then we'll dial back. Add a little curtsy. You know, I have to admit, I'm also completely biased because in the Japanese dub, Weiss is voiced by Yoki Ikasa, and I am weak to that woman. Anyway, there's another element that I actually liked with the trailers, how we got each one, how these silhouettes would, like, fill in with the proper character art and everything like that. Funny detail on Weiss's character art, actually, before the trailer dropped, we didn't actually have the proper Meter Master, because they hadn't fully finished up the weapon art for it yet. So they have, like, a rough idea of it, but they didn't have, like, the full details. But, like, just on this, let's get to, like, this if I can. Yeah, this. Watch this. I forgot it could do this! I don't think it did this in the show ever, actually. Like, just the decorations on the hilt lighting up, and then turning into, like, glowing runes across the sword, too? I don't remember, because I don't think it did. I don't think this actually happened in the show itself, and it's just such a fun detail that's so creative, and I like how you can take it's a fun way to take a very simple rapier, like, for most of the show, Weiss had absolutely the most simple weapon, because it didn't have a transformation gimmick, and it didn't have, like, that extra flair of, oh, it's also a gun. It's just a rapier with a revolver's chamber that, as far as we knew at this point in the show, was magic. We didn't know what dust was. We didn't know about semblances. At this point, it just seemed like Weiss was also a spellblade. For all we could tell, her glyphs were just a form of magic that she was using, because, hell, we didn't fucking know at the time. And they didn't actually have it ironed out at the time either, so Weiss was kind of just a spellblade, actually. Because I don't think all the concepts had been fully ironed out yet before the show went into proper production. So yeah, Weiss was just a spellblade, and that's why she is also objectively my favorite, because it's one of my favorite fighting styles to use in fantasy. There is a reason why the main character of my own novel is a spellblade. It's because it's my favorite fighting style. The reason he's a swordsman who uses magic is this. It's this style of stuff right here. I love when you can take a simple weapon like a sword or a spear and elevate it with some added flair like magical effects or being mechanical in a way that lets it do more than just be a big metal stick, you know? And now it's... God, that voice crack. And now it's time for a bit of a jump in the quality of the trailers from white to black. And my other favorite character, at least in the early volumes, because Blake's character, God, what did they do to you, my girl? What did they do to you? Your hopes have become my burden, I will find my own liberation. Off the bat, I just love the immediate scene transition we get between the white trailer, which is black trailer. This deep red autumn painted forest with mountains in the sky, and then we just get the subtle piano here. And then Blake herself contrasting it with her black color scheme with some dashes of purple to make it stand out a little bit more. Solid character designs all around. Also, the big bow on her head. I love it.
Blake, it's time.
Oh my, voice acting!
Okay.
And again, another rather iconic frame from the trailer is just Blake facing the camera, hair blowing in the wind. Also, it's rare. You know, you almost never notice them, but the fact that she has little purple highlights little purple wing highlights around her eyes on this these early parts of the show, I think she actually doesn't have them in later volumes. Huh. I think they actually did. No, I do think she does still have them, but I think they got a lot more subtle Or more difficult to notice? I don't actually remember. Huh. Well, hey, if I decide I'm going to rewatch the show, depending on how this video gets received, I might. Maybe we'll go through and I'll reset some of my opinions, because it has been a long time. A very long time. Anyway. Yeah, this is also the longest trailer so far. The last two were just a shy over 3 minutes. This one is 5 minutes. God, I love the music here. Has that very subtle kind of, you got the rhythm with the drum, the snare, the mixed with all of this. Oh.
Looks like we're gonna be doing this the hard way.
Ah, God, the mic quality. Oh, God, I remember 2010's microphone quality. It couldn't always be the best sometimes. Especially when it was just you and your friends at your small company doing what you could.
Don't be so dramatic.
Intruder, identify yourself.
Fun little bit of trivia, that line from the robot is actually part of the song itself. It's really funny. Also, a bit of a jump scare if you're new to the OST and not expecting it. It wouldn't be hard to imagine that that's just part of the show in its own sound. No, that's part of the song. It's part of the song and it's hilarious. Got it, okay. Musically, before we talk about just how fun it is, the concept of a shotgun that shoots the sword out of it as a bullet for these kind of quick draws, because that's some Jetstream Sam Kino right there. Adam is such goddamn Virgil core. It's so funny. He's such a Virgil archetype. A shame what happened with his character. In my opinion, I will say. In my opinion. But I love the musical transition from the subtle snare, just a... It's not even the beat. And then it goes to the guitar. Also, this is the first time a guitar gets used in this OST, and it's great. From Shadows is one of my favorite songs out of the trailers. I mean, obviously, I have too many favorite songs in this show. It's so good. Also, but I love the action we get here. What did I say? Virgil core. This man is fucking Virgil build. A shame he's not quite based. See, okay, that's another one of my favorite weapon reveals. The reveal that Blake's sword isn't just this blocky thing, but it's actually a much thinner, simpler blade. That's just a bladed sheath that she carries it in, which is one of my it's such a fun concept too. I've always been a big fan. Like, it's one of my favorite things that I see in anime when it comes to like a katana wielder, katana, uchikatana, whatever the hell the classification was for. There's like 10 different classifications. Of like when the sheath is used just alongside the sword itself. And I like how in this case that Blake kind of references it, because Gamble Shroud is supposed to be, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a ninjato, which is, you know, a short ninja blade, basically. So having it mixed with a larger kind of blockier sheath that can also be its own blade, because if you know, because like you can notice it when she's drawing, that it has its own handle actually. Let me dial that back a bit. You can see right there, there's that gap there where it has its own handle for her to hold on to it after drawing the main blade, which is such a fun detail, and it makes me love the weapon so much. It's very simplistic in nature, and I do actually like that element of its design. It tells a lot about Blake and what she had to work with to make her weapon compared to some of the more complex weapons, such as RWBY and Yane's. Let's talk about Emperor Celica when we get to the yellow trailer. We'll talk about that when we get there. Also, the first early hints to how her semblance works, I love how it almost looks like she's teleported around when it's not quite what she does, which is fun to talk about, just the way she uses her clones. It's so good.
Let's do this.
Ah, the combo moves! God, there is such a fun creativity to having a gun attached to a ribbon where when you pull it, it can fire the gun to effectively use the recoil to start having it swing around like that. Oh, it's so cool. It's just such a good concept. You know, I wonder, in that case, would you load it up with blanks instead? Because then you'd just be wasting bullets a bit, wouldn't you? I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking too much right now. Let's just enjoy it. Every time I watch this trailer and just see Adam fight, my brain is just Virgil. I've gotten too into DMC and the bullshit that happens in those games, man. It's just, I do wonder if they I have to imagine, considering the age of the guys when they worked on this, that Virgil must have been in their brains when they were thinking of the way Adam fights. Like that had to have been at least some of the inspiration for his movesets. I know Monty took a decent amount of inspiration from fighting games too. Like in the Yellow trailer, Yane uses one of Lily's grabs from Tekken. I think it's like what, Tekken 4 tag or something. I don't know. It's one of her grabs. I don't know precisely because I only just got into Tekken because, you know, I'm super late to the party like I am with so many things. Oh boy. Anyway. I actually, musically speaking too, I actually do like how we get this brief break in the song and we have that first chorus. But that's also not quite it. Like, the main song itself actually gets into the core lyrics we're about to get to a bit sooner than this. Because, like, the trailers use their own mixes for the songs a bit. Like, obviously they're structured around the movements and elements of the trailer itself. God, I am getting hiccups from talking like this. I'll try to get over them as I let the video play again.
Perfect. Move up to the next car. I'll set the charges.
What about the crew members?
What about them?
Notice on the background detail, actually, there's this snowflake logo that was also in the white trailer. This is important in the show. Anyway, boss fight time. Hello, Jeff.
Adam.
You know, quick thought, why is this part of the security detail of a train? Like, I'm not questioning it, fighting a big old spider tank robot is cool and all, but this is the security detail of a cargo train. And again, it is the Schnee Dust Company, so I guess it wouldn't spare any expense to the defense budget there.
We need to get out of here.
Oh, I forgot it does that, just big-ass energy cannon. Uh-oh. Yeah, you know what? That is actually a good question. Why you would put that on your train when, like, if there's an intruder, this thing could destroy the train cars. God damn it. You're gonna lose cargo if this thing goes loose. Actually, I think they just did. They did just lose some of the cargo, actually. Huh.
Buy me some time!
Are you sure?
Do it!
Ah, here we go. God, that is such a good, fun, stylish thing to do, and where this goes is great. God, I love the imagery of that. Like just the first hints of Adam's semblance in its nature, having it where he. I'm always a massive fan of powers where it is absorb attacks and then send it back, probably either just as hard or even harder because you boosted it up. And just the imagery they use for Adam's semblance, which is officially called Moon Slice, by the way, fun name. Just the visual effects they do, where his entire body goes black and red as he charges up. God, and just like again, this is like one of that frame alone. Okay, wait. Yeah, this again, iconic frames from the trailers. This is one of them for a reason. Look at where it lies. One of the most replayed peaks. It's really funny how like one of the most replayed parts of the Black trailer is even technically Blake's moment. Like she gets good stuff in, don't get me wrong, but like this is kind of more like an Adam showcase. Like it's 50%, it's 50-50, but you know.
Goodbye.
See, that's what a trailer is supposed to do. Not spoil you, but leave you with questions. Just, see, I wasn't involved in a ton of forums at the time, mostly because I was, around the time RWBY came out, also a relative newcomer to general fandom culture. I also didn't get out. I didn't get around a lot of forums, even though I knew they existed. I was just kind of pretty isolated, pretty antisocial, even on the internet. So I missed out on a lot of the speculation that happened on the Rooster Teeth forums whenever these trailers were dropped, because they dropped like week to week over that month. Back in 2013, Jesus Christ, that was 2013. But like, yeah, like this is what a trailer should do. It ended with that, and you're just like, I'm sorry, what? Why'd she do that? Why'd she leave? What was the point of that? I don't know. Also, I'm looking at my recording time, and I'm 42 minutes into this, and we're only through the first 3 trailers. It's going to be a long haul, folks. It's going to be a bit of a long haul. My yap ability knows no bounds. All right, time to get to the fun, girl. Scathing eyes ask that we be symmetrical, one-sided, and easily processed. That every misshapen spark's unseen beauty is greater than its would-be judgment. Where did they pull these quotes from? I really want to know. She gets such a fun bike. She gets such a cool motorcycle, man. I love fantastical motorcycle designs. They're so good. You know, I think the only thing that didn't make Yang do was an Akira slide. Did they make her do an Akira slide in the show? I don't think she did an Akira slide in the show. Club remixes of the other songs. Let's go. I feel I need to explain this. So, like, because this was a passion project and there wasn't a high budget around it, obviously, background characters basically had to be almost static silhouettes, and then, like, any character that would actually do something important in a scene got a model, because this is before they had a bigger budget. So, you know, they had to be really frugal about everything. God, okay. Anyone who needs to reference, back in 2013 when this came out, Deadmau5 was really popular, and he was a DJ who was known for wearing like a big old stylish neon mouse head on stage, because this, you know, there's a big thing that still goes on a lot where like DJs will hide their face in some way. For example, Daft Punk, who are known for wearing their like fucking 80s vaporwave robot mask. Like, I found out about this, guys, because of the Tron Legacy movie. I am dating myself so hard every time I make a reference. God, people are gonna figure out how old I am. You know, I will say real quick, it is funny to note I am technically a Zoomer despite how old I am. So I'm just gonna let people sit on that. I'm old enough to understand 2013 references, yet I am still technically a Zoomer. So just kind of sit on that one for a bit, if you would. I will confirm nor deny anything. Roman! One of my favorite characters. I stopped on the Flash. Again, important characters at the time would actually get full models, so here we are with Roman.
Strawberry sunrise. No ice. Oh, and one of those little umbrellas.
Aren't you
Even more voice acting.
a little young to be in this club, Blondie?
Aren't you a little old to have a name like Junior?
So you know who I am. You got a name, sweetheart?
Yes, Junior, I've got several. But instead of sweetheart, you could just call me Sir. People say you know everything. Tell me where I could find her and I'll let you go.
Okay, I just gotta say, grabbing a man by the dick is a bit of an outdated thing, but back in 2013 it was pretty funny. Little bit outdated now. Does show Yaden Spunk. Also, just because I want to draw attention to the image a bit, I don't actually know where this image that they put on her phone scroll, whatever it came from. But, like, you can barely, it's so small, it's hard to actually pull out the details, but, you know, it is what it is.
I've never seen her before. I swear.
Excuse me?
I swear, sir.
Looks like we have an audience. This must be kind of embarrassing for you, huh? Awkward.
Listen, Blondie, sir. If you want to make it out of this club alive, I suggest you let me go now. You'll pay.
Okay, so I just realized it. So the Junior's goons have hatchets. Is that a Kung Fu Hustle reference? Is that a reference to the hatchet game from Kung Fu Hustle? Please, someone in the comments, tell me if that's supposed to be an intentional reference to Kung Fu Hustle and the hatchet game. I have to know, because now it's there, it's in my head, I'm like, wait, that has to be a reference. That has to be a Kung Fu Hustle reference. It has to be.
Pay for that.
Oh, Junior, I was just playing with you. Don't be so sensitive. Come on, let's kiss and make up, okay?
Huh? Okay.
Why'd he fall for it? Come on. He should have known. He should have known she was going to deck him in the face. He should have known that she was going to deck him in the face. Come on, man. It was so obvious. She just grabbed you by the balls. And you're thinking... Also, age gap problems, but we're not going to address that because, you know, not going to worry about it. Not my place to discuss. We don't talk those things on this channel. And one of my favorite weapons, the shot gauntlets. Also, that isn't technically how a shotgun should work. She just basically wasted a shell when you think about it. You know what? We're not going to think about it. We're just going to watch Yang beat the shit out of a bunch of guys. I like how this is how they do the version of like the jump up to the moon shot that every trailer has had. Because she's inside, so they got to do a skylight, basically. Ah, time for some fun. Alright, they also have these machetes. They have hatchets and machetes. The hatchet's gotta be a reference, man. They gotta be a reference. God, I love the way Yane moves in this trailer, especially. Just the weight behind her punches, but also using the recoil from the shotgun shells to either move herself along or give that extra oomph to all of her punches. The way she moves, just the way every character moves in these trailers, the way Monty has to move and fight is so good. And it makes me wish that I could write prose that gives a similar idea, but that is so hard to get across in prose. Because writing a fight scene in prose, like, if I were to write this fight scene out, it would probably only be a few pages. Because there's only so many ways you can say, and then she punched the guy hard enough while her weapons fired off with shotgun blast. Like, you can only say that so many ways before you just have to carry the fight forward. It would only last a couple of pages. But when it's animated, you can have an entire sequence of fight that is several minutes long, that is just protracted brawling, and it's immaculate to watch. God, it's so... If anyone wants to know why I write fight scenes the way I do, it's RWBY. RWBY is entirely the reason why I write fight scenes the way I do. It's this fucking show. It is this show.
Melanie, who is this girl? I don't know, Milsha, but we should teach her a lesson.
We doing that Mean Girls accent. Oh. God, I'm such an asshole. Oh, my favorite reload. God, that's such a stylish reload. I love it. And now we get into a remix. So we went from Red Like Roses, Mirror Mirror, and now we're from Shadows remix. Oh, the combos. Yane hitting them with the nasty Tekken combos. Having been on the receiving end and dealt out a couple of Tekken combos, that was a Tekken juggle. That was a goddamn Tekken juggle, and you won't change my mind, especially with the throw she's about to use. And here it comes. Oh, actually, I really like that detail that before she goes into the grab. Actually, hold up. Let's dial that back a bit. I'm going to catch that. That before she goes into the grab. Yeah, before she goes into the grab, she disengages her gauntlets. Oh, that's actually really cool. Oh, and you can actually see her hair flare up first here. But also, like I said, that's the Lily grab. That was the Lily grab. Neat that this is actually where you first see her hair start to flare up like that. Huh, cool. God, rewatching these is so much fun.
You're gonna pay for this.
And now we get to Yane's theme. Now, a quick note to make about Yane's theme. This is a different mix that they use for the trailer, this club mix. Her actual theme is more rock-oriented and also includes a bit more explicit of a rap in it, which is quite fun and was by Lamar Hall. So, yeah, that version of I Burn is, I think, my favorite version of it because I like rock. I like rap. Rap? Did I just merge rock and rap together? What the fuck? I'm leaving that in. We're leaving that in. And there's Yane getting the hits in. Well, there's Junior getting the hits in on Yane. And then... Dempsey roll him! Oh, I love that. Oh god, the Dempsey roll is such a fun move whenever I see it get used. And they punched him hard enough she broke his bat bazooka. And he grabbed a bit of her hair. Whoops-a-daisy! So, how much do you think that was in property damage that Yang just induced by blowing out all the windows and basically destroying the dance floor? That was, that had to be pretty pricey, don't you think? Hey, Rubes.
Yang? Is that you? Oh, hey, sis! What are you doing here? It's a long story.
Or you could say that. God, imagine. God, I remember the surprise, like, wait a minute, they're sisters? Huh? These two who look nothing alike? Okay, look, I can say it myself as a guy with siblings. Sometimes you just don't look like each other because one of you leans closer to some part of your parentage, the other leans closer to another, and sometimes things blend together to the point you don't really look much like each other despite having the same parents. Genetics are strange. I will say, for the longest time, we didn't actually know that RWBY and Yang were half-sisters. Spoilers, but then again, most of us here probably already know that detail. Oh, God, this was a trip down memory lane. Oh, God, I love these trailers so much. I love the action. I love the momentum. I love the music. I love what it sets up. This is such a good set of ways to get people intrigued and curious, and the memories are so good, but also so very, very bitter. It is like acid on my goddamn tongue when I think about it. Man, God. I at least wanted to talk about the trailers, especially because in terms of the epic, the musical stuff, I'm still kind of sort of waiting on a few more animatics to come out before I talk about them, because I want to do a big God Games related special, but we're not talking about that. I'll see people down in the comments of this one. If people are genuinely interested in seeing me talk about the show, maybe I'll go through the volumes and watch like certain chunks of episodes, especially the first couple of volumes, because those episodes are real short. Like they don't last very long, so fitting a few of them into certain blocks would probably work, but I don't know. I just wanted to talk about these trailers because they have good memories for me and I really enjoy them. And hey, if the video does well and if the reception is enough, maybe we'll go through more of the show. I don't know. Maybe we'll become a RWBY channel for a little bit. Anyway, till the next.